Okay, so what is the BMC? Why are we members?
Because the BMC is the representative body for all people in these outdoor spaces.
Climbers, mountaineers, hill walkers. If you love the outdoors, if you love adventure, then chances are you're doing one of these disciplines, sports, pursuits, hobbies, whatever you want to call it. We're actually, to some extent, all part of the same club.
I think there's a lot of people that venture into the outdoors that do overlap in all of the areas, but maybe don't realise it. I mean, even somebody who might consider themselves just a boulderer, you know, they're going out into the wilds, maybe like could be a long walk in potentially, you know, they're going off into these open spaces. So they are hill walkers until they get to their area.
That's so funny, Steve. I love the idea that for some people, the bit that I love doing, the walk, is it. And for you, it's just getting to the bit where you start doing your thing.
Quite often, to be honest, the walk is the best bit.
Or the hardest bit, I mean, for some people.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I know there's been a lot of times where the walk has been the most important part of the day. So it might be a long walk to do a single route, followed by another long walk back. And the climb is really just like a focus point of the day's activity, but really it was about the walk, and that was the beautiful part of the day.
So climbing's taken me from London. I grew up there and I left when I was about 19, and it's brought me up here. And I was one of those people who basically didn't know that national parks existed, pretty much, and just could never see myself in the outdoors because it hadn't reached me down in London, and I hadn't seen anyone who I could really connect with, or just didn't know where to even start. So climbing's kind of opened that door for me and allowed me to find something that's now invaluable in my life, and yeah, a really important space, activity and community.
How do you think we can build that community and reach people who, you know, the Molly who isn't the GB climbing Molly, but you know, might be interested and get as much out of it as you?
I think a lot of the time we make messages for climbers already, or people who, I guess, the access is there and it's not too hard. But for me, when I was down in London and my parents didn't go outside at all, and I couldn't drive and I didn't know where to start, like it felt like a completely different world up here and really hard to get to. So I think maybe finding solutions for people like that, and then really speaking to them so that they actually feel like it's possible.
You know, if you can't see it, if you don't know anyone who does it, if you don't see yourself represented, then why would you think it's for you?
Yeah, exactly. You'd probably think the opposite, that it's not for you.
Yeah. You know, we're at Stanage Edge in the Peak District. We're really close to Manchester, really close to Sheffield. There's going to be loads of people in those cities who don't even know this place exists. Or they don't, if they do know it exists, they don't know how to get to it or what to do when you get here. And I think those people should be part of the BMC family as well, because this should be for everyone and we should all reap the benefits of it. When I get outside, for me, with busy work life, busy family, it's sort of just that breath of fresh air and that connection and that sense of space. And I think it's connecting to something that feels bigger than just me.
It is my entire life. It's been spun around being in the outdoors, and it's everything from fun days out to like my career, to pushing myself and being the best I can be physically and mentally. It's the family are involved. It's everything, and it gives so much. It's just been such a great ride.
For those people who've heard of the British Mountaineering Council, gone, oh, I'm a walker, I'm a climber, maybe I should join. Why should they join? Like, why hand over your hard-earned cash?
I think one of the biggest reasons to join the BMC, and certainly what the members feel like is one of the biggest reasons, is to do with conservation and access. People have got to look after this place, and the knowledge that the BMC have online and in other areas of literature is vast. So people that join the BMC get access to all of that, and they know that they're supporting the good work that the BMC does in making sure that these beautiful places are available for everyone to enjoy.
And for the future.
And for the future, absolutely.
They're a trusted source to help you progress your journey, whatever it is that you want to do, whether it's just going for a walk and not being as worried about getting lost because you know what to do. or if you want to try scrambling, or if you want to try mountaineering, the BMC is your natural home.
In joining the BMC, you're kind of investing in not only your own future outside, but like you said, the future of the outside for others as well. And I like that I'm contributing to your experience as a hill walker and Steve's experience on the rocks to the young kids who are aspiring to go to the Olympics. It really makes you feel like you're part of a family, and there's just so much that you can access, whether it is literal access to crags or information or a community.
So a good day's climbing for me is just like the ultimate way to spend any part of my life. And after a really good day's climbing, whether it's inside or outside, I just feel amazing. I feel like all my stresses, all my worries, all the pressures, they've just dissipated, and I just feel totally great. I'd recommend it to anybody.
At the end of the day, it's about having a good time and making sure people after you can also have a good time.
Hello and welcome to the Cotswold Outdoor British Bouldering Championships 2022. I'm John Partridge. I'm joined today by Hannah Morris. Hannah, welcome. What's this all about?
So today we are going into the semi-final round of the British Bouldering Championships. We've got 20 men and 20 women all competing for a spot in tonight's finals.
And a chance at immortality. That's good stuff, isn't it? So what's happened to get us to this point today?
So yesterday the athletes went through a pretty grueling qualification round of 5 boulders. There were thrills, there were a few spills, a few tears, I think.
Yeah, that's the good stuff, isn't it? That's what people really want to see. But anyway, we're here in Sheffield, the home, the outdoor city, and it's got to mention a few sponsors while we're here. Sheffield City Council, huge shout out to you guys. Who else has helped out?
We've got Cotswold Outdoors supporting the event today.
Of course. And the Sheffield Beard, you've been obviously integral to this. But quite importantly, there's some holds on the wall. Who's helped out with those?
So Beta Setting have helped out with the holds, and then we have La Sportiva helping out with the shoes, which are also fairly important in a bouldering competition, I would say.
But anyway, enough from us. I'm pretty excited for this semi-final round. Are you excited?
I am very excited. I think it's going to be a good one.
Absolutely. We're going to get up close and personal now. Check out some biceps. Join us soon.
Hello. I'm doing really well, thank you. I'm really excited to watch semi-finals.
Okay, apologies people, just having a few technical difficulties at my end. Trying to get my dulcet tones into your ear holes. Never mind. So we're going to tag back in with Hannah in a minute, but I'm going to try and keep the show going in the meantime. So we just started the competition on Boulder 1. We got our first athletes out. So just for those of you that don't know how a competition works, we've had a big qualification round yesterday. Full set of boulders with 60 men and 60 women competing. And today we're going to have the top 20 men and 20 women. So these climbers out at the moment are the people who qualified in 20th position through into semi-finals today. Cool. So we've got George Norton on women's 1, making short work of that first move with the foot plant. And Conrad Gowland starting his competition out on these yellow axis holds. George making short work of this section. So our first boulder set by Rob Napier, these red Squadra holds. The notes I've got here from the route setters, dynamic techie top. So making good work of that. First boulder out of the way with a flash. Super strong start. Meanwhile, George on men's 1, figuring out the sequence really well. So these Squadra volumes, it's quite an awkward position to start with the palm down and roll into this slopey rail. The trick from Max Ayrton, our chief route setter today, telling me it's all about the slow roll, but the second you make contact with that handhold, you've got to release the feet to plant out onto the right hand side. So seems like he's figuring out the movement quite well. Question is, will he stick it? Pulling on for his next attempt. Here we go. Nice and steady through there. Foot plant, yeah, just the tech seems to be, from what I'm told, that you've got to, the second you hit contact with that handhold and foothold, you've got to get the other hand into play underneath and sort of squeeze that starting yellow volume from the other side. Let's see if we can get some technique going on that. And then, as you can see higher up the route, when camera pans up a little bit more, you've got the classical axis eggs to finish up. Bit of a tricky move out with the feet and a bit of a punchy last move. See if George can get up there. Here we go. Okay, we're just going to see. It's Hannah. Hannah, are you live?
I'm here.
She's here.
Had a few technical difficulties, but I am now with you.
Cool. Well, sorry for you people at home. We're now here. We're settling in. Don't worry. It's going to be a long afternoon, so plenty of stuff to keep you going. For those of you just joining now, we had our first female finalist out, George. She absolutely smashed her first boulder, and now we are watching Rory trying men's 1. Really awkward start position. What can you see? What do you think you might need to do?
I think that he's got the right idea. I think he's going with the rollover, but he just seems to be having some difficulty sticking that right foot plant.
Yeah, a lot to do here. I think that's the theme for most of these boulders, particularly in this round. You know, they're trying to make complicated movements that are really difficult to get established on. It's a good way of splitting the field, plenty of attempts. So that's our first rotation. Now we're going to hear the buzzer in a second, and we'll get our next finalists, semi-finalists out. So we're going to have Robin Casey and Chris Katari. Oh no, Conrad, sorry.
Conrad Gowland.
Our next climber out, we've got Conrad Gowland and George McNaughton.
Good techers from the competitors, obviously getting that brushing out of the way. One of the things a lot of people at home might not see, these crash mats. So unlike a commercial climbing centre where you have carpet on top of the mat, which really keeps the chalk and dust down on the floor, these mats are quite old school, plastic covering, so the chalk and the dirt does get everywhere. So it's really key that they prepare the boulder problems after each attempt, keep their shoes clean. Just those little sort of margins of error that can really be the difference between qualifying for tonight's final and not.
So Conrad seems to be going for the same method as Rory before him. And I think, chatting to the route setters, that definitely does seem to be the way. I don't know if it's just going to take a couple of attempts for them to figure out exactly how that movement works.
I think that's exactly right, yeah. A lot of these sort of complex movements take just so much time to, you know, in isolation. If it was down the climbing wall, I'm sure they'd be firing through it pretty quick. But when you got the pressure here, you got the crowd, the adrenaline's running, I'm sure that's probably the reason why it feels twice as hard as it might ordinarily. But George and Conrad putting in a good shift so far. George is figuring out that foot plant really nice. And Conrad just taking his time, rebooting. Quite a physical start for the men on here. Complicated movement, double tap on the volumes to start, and then he's going for a slightly alternative way of trying to get that second hand in play before the foot. Not sure entirely if that's going to be the way, but we shall find out.
Come on, Conrad.
Nice, come on, Conrad. Putting a lot of attempts in here. Conrad's obviously one of our younger competitors. I believe this is his first senior British Bouldering Championship semi-final, and perhaps just lacking a bit of that experience to slow it down. Few goes, but then again, the arrogance of youth, you just never know.
And I think he's coming off the back of a junior British Bouldering Championship win, I believe. So he'll be looking to transfer that into this competition.
Strong youth,
sure.
strong youth. I'm loving the trivia, keep that coming. Meanwhile, George on her first boulder, enjoying the tunes, good to see, smile on her face. She's pretty much nailed the sequence, she just needs to execute it now. Fingers crossed. Here we go, pulling on, foot across, and then the palm foot plant, absolutely classical these days. A lot to think about.
Yeah, she's definitely, she knows what she's trying to do there.
Yeah.
And I think it doesn't look like it's too far away. It's just getting that timing and that coordination.
That's it. It's just a lot to think about, isn't it? I don't know how they do it.
No, in 4 minutes with the pressure,
Crikey.
they know what they need to do, but
execution
they need
is
some
everything.
figuring out, and you don't have a lot of time to do that.
That's it. And obviously, you know, as we progress through the round, we're going to be getting the qualifiers who finished higher up the order out. So potentially we're going to see, you know, the more seasoned competitors understanding the sequences a bit earlier and executing. But yeah, certainly men's one so far, no tops yet. These are only our second competitors on it, so very early days, but does show the difficulty of the semi-final round. It's a real step up. And Conrad so close to sticking that. But yeah, we had Robin Casey come out on female one, absolutely smash it. Flash from memory, if I recall. Totally read that sequence perfectly. George, meanwhile, just struggling with the timing of this. Yeah, just not quite right. But it's looking good out here. The weather's good. Crowd's
there's a
building.
crowd building,
You
definitely.
know, lots of keen
good
faces.
vibe.
Yeah,
Good festival vibe.
that's it. Music's going. And of course they got their snazzy comp vests on today. Unlike yesterday, qualification round, no uniform required, whereas today, all the semi-finalists wearing their British Bouldering Championships. You'll see these vests on eBay, no doubt. Collector's editions after.
So next out we have Lucy Mitchell and Chris Cathari.
Yeah, Chris climbed really well yesterday, and there was a bit of confusion with his qualification round. He had to go to appeal to contest a decision on a boulder, and he was right, and here he is in his first senior British Bouldering Championship semi-final. Well deserved, well deserved.
So Lucy is competing at the British Bouldering Championships after a 6-year break from competing in this competition. So I'd say semi-finals is a fairly nice welcome back to the British Bouldering Championships.
Fair play, 6 years. That's quite the distance. It almost makes me feel like I want to get my boots back in and start training again. Almost, but not quite.
Maybe next year.
Maybe next year. I say that every year though, don't I? Yeah, so we're on our first rotation onto the second boulder as well. We'll get that on your screens as quickly as we can. We've got Rory Cummins just pulling on to this boulder, which is sort of a technical groove of death, which we'll get on your screens in a sec. Meanwhile, we got Robin Casey starting her second boulder here on these super slopey dual text volumes, and then just popping through there, just missing this dyno.
So if you're not familiar with these kind of pink and black volumes, what's unique about these is that only a small section of the hold is actually textured, and the rest is like shiny smooth. So that forces athletes to move in the way that the route setter intended.
Yeah, very specific holds, and really frustrating when you can see this massive hold in front of you, but actually there's only about 2 centimetres of it that is useful. As you say, it's a really good way of forcing sequences, getting the athletes to move in the way you want. And here we go. The quad screen in play. Okay, everyone, you can now see what's going on.
Rory making good progress.
Yeah, Rory is
Men's
just
2.
in this green groove of death. Just a bit of information for you guys. The green men's 2 problem set by Alice Thompson. I've just got one word to describe it: wrestling. That seems about right.
Squirmy.
Get your squirm on. My kind of boulder.
Squirmy shuffling up a groove.
That's it.
I
and
would
then,
say.
Yeah, these simple volumes are, as they say, simple. Not much to understand or read. Just got to get squeezing.
So Robin just going for that zone hold. Unfortunately, to secure a zone, you do have to hold it in control.
That's right.
John?
That's right, yeah. And I think, judging by what we're seeing so far, quite complicated movements to start the competitors off. No sort of solid positions, which is always what you want when you come out to a first boulder. You want to get something that you can feel steady and secure on and make progress, but route setters straight in with the complicated movements.
Rory again making great progress on men's 2, making his way up towards the zone. Looking like, just unable to latch that zone in control, but that looked like a good effort, perhaps quite a physical one. Might have taken a fair amount out of him.
Okay, Chris Kitari making good progress on that first boulder. He's definitely figured out the position. Again, just lacking in that execution. Going back to what I was talking about, the crash mats earlier with the non-carpeted finish, that's why you can see all the competitors standing on towels, just trying to keep their boots nice and clean. Good Connies, that's what it's about. And Chris Katari, our first competitor to stick that starting move. Now he's got to get up onto the zone hold. Yeah, nice, Chris. Fair play. But good work from him.
So Rory going for possibly a last attempt on men's 2, making his way up that groove again towards the zone.
And that's the end of our next rotation, so we're going to have 2 new athletes join us. We've got Jessica Claxton Daniels on female 1, and Rajender Pun onto his first boulder. Good to see some new faces coming through on the senior tour. Real mixed bag in qualification yesterday. You had some upsets, some big hitters not qualifying, so it's great to see the next generation coming through. And as you can see, we've got the second boulder in play as well. So how it works, the competitors are going to move across the wall. They've got 4 boulders to do, and it's basically a process of a few minutes climbing, a few minutes resting until we get across the wall. So pretty soon we're going to end up with 3 blocks in play, and then hopefully 4, and there'll be a lot on your screen to keep track of. So we'll try and help you out, understanding what's going on, who's doing what with the scoring. At the moment we've only seen 1 top on female 1, which is the red holds on the top left hand corner of your screen. We've seen a zone secured on men's 2, which is the yellow holds, which you can just about see on the bottom left hand corner of your screen. But so far, women's 2 and men's 2, we have not had a zone attempt. So yeah, all to play for. And gradually, as we move through the field, we're going to see the more seasoned competitors come out and hopefully smash through these boulders. But yeah, we've got Conrad getting established on this second boulder here, the big green simple volumes, pressing it out, super physical, really awkward positions. And the trick, I think it's going to be to try and release the crimp on the edge of the volume. What do you think, Hannah? You've got to get up in that groove.
I could not tell you, John.
Okay, fair play.
This boulder is perplexing to me.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think it's just one of those ones where you're just going to have to like squirm your way through.
Yeah, and you can tell just how physical that move is by the full body shake that's coming out on every athlete that's tried it so far.
Yeah, I think it's just, you can just see the route setter's really crafty with it. You've got very poor feet, small feet in specific locations, which sort of gives you an indication that it's all about that top half and really finding the right position for your hips to allow your body to sort of push up through the volumes. But yeah, Conrad had a good first go. We've got on the top right corner of your screen, we've got George on her second boulder coming across through these dual text volumes. Just struggling to get across into the more positive holds.
So Jessica seems to have figured out what she wants to do with that left foot stab into the start hold, but again I think it's a timing and coordination thing.
Yeah, that first boulder is not what you want to come out to, I guess. Unsecure multi-coordination moves, not ideal. Every attempt you spend, you're just getting more and more stressed, so ordinarily very easy to calm yourself down and just have a think about things, but these competitors against the clock, and that is absolutely what makes it difficult. So plenty to see on your screens. We've got 4 climbers smashing away through these first 2 boulders. On the next rotation, we're going to have our first competitors come out onto female and men's 3. We'll give you a bit of knowledge about those boulders in a sec. I think it's worth just giving a quick shout out to the setting team. They've done a great job so far. Qualification round, got almost the perfect split of grades, you know, and attempts on the climbs. Everything from 5 tops all the way down to 1, I believe, to qualify in the women's competition. So good job to them. Max Ayrton leading the team, and then we've got Rob Napier, Kayleen Harker, Alice Thompson, James Garden, Ben West. So super strong setting team. Rajendra, yeah, super good effort on him, managing to stick that first dyno on men's 1. So far only Chris Katari has made it up to that zone hold, so yeah, good progress from him.
You can see as the clock counts down, Jessica is definitely speeding up the frequency of her attempts.
Yeah,
maybe first she was taking bigger rests, but now I think as the time ticks down, she's just kind of giving it all, maybe to go for that zone before buzzer goes.
Yeah, a bit of strategy required, I think, potentially, just to, you know, take a breather, maybe sack it off a little bit early, rest up for the next one, because as you're about to see in a second, we're going to open up women's 3 and men's 3, and these boulders are hard. We had a quick view through and some understanding of the sequences from the route setters, and they just look extremely physical. The women's boulder in particular, super powerful through these Trango holds, and the men's problem, very difficult to read sequence wise, with very, very slopey handholds. You can just see these black pinches on your screen. So now I'm on the bottom left hand corner of your screen. Competitor number 118, which is Rory Cummins, about to start his rotation, and Robin Casey pulling onto her problem there with number 10 on her vest. But we've got 2 new competitors coming out as well onto their first boulders. Pippa Watkin on female 1, and we've got Adam Snow, who is a fairly sizable individual. He looks like he's got a ridiculous 8 index and almost staticking through that first move. Fair play. It's always the way. I think it comes out in the wash. You know, you might be on the tall side, able to reach the holds easier, but certainly on this boulder, being able to unwind from that position and secure the foothold, probably harder if you're taller. So, yep, I'm sure it's going to level out.
So Pippa just taking some time there to brush the holds. If you're not so familiar with bouldering competitions, competitors will brush the holds or have the holds brushed for them, just to get rid of any kind of chalk or shoe rubber that's built up on the holds, which make them less easy to hold.
So we've just seen there in the bottom corner of your screen, Robin Casey just starting off on women's 3. Chatting to the route setters before, they've not made too many amendments to the problems following the qualification round, but this one in particular was one that they have tweaked, actually increasing the difficulty of the climb to make this starting section slightly more difficult. You've got this big triangular black volume in the very bottom left-hand corner of your screen, and there was a small foothold on there which helped you get more established more easily onto the big pink hold above, but that has been removed now, and it's a super smeary section now, so beefing it up slightly for the female competition, which is good to see. We had some super strong performances in that category. We had Holly Tutul getting round in 5 and 6, and Tara, Molly Thompson-Smith, Emily Phillips all doing 5 boulders. So yeah, they're certainly trying to get a better split. But we got a really strong effort here on women's 2 from Lucy Mitchell. She's the first female to get up high onto this second boulder. Just needs to get her feet up, that's it. And now it's a bit of a lock.
Possibly a bit precise.
Yeah, elbow to knee. Yes.
Last move drop her heartbreak. That was a fantastic effort.
Yeah, and we even got the heads up from the route setters on that one, just letting us know that that top hold is not good.
No, I think it's both precise. You're aiming for that slot in the middle, obviously,
exactly.
But it's also not what you might call a sinker.
Yeah, slopey.
Yes.
Slopey mess, and all regard, forcing you to keep the weight on your feet, which is not what you want to do when you're fully extended. You want to be grabbing a big victory jug.
You do.
Kissing that bicep.
Definitely not over until it's over.
So yeah, lots to keep track of on your screens now. Bottom right hand corner of your screen is our first rotation on men's 1, which is Rory Cummins, and as I said before, that is the very physical men's problem, so he's just struggling to get established on that. Bit of a complicated sequence too, so that's really going to split the field.
So Robin, on the bottom left of your screen, is going for quite an interesting method. She's going into a kind of like quite extreme Gaston rather than for the slightly more sloped part of the hold that you'll see in a moment on that pink women's 3.
Yeah. Lucy again making good progress on this second boulder. She knows what to do. I think she's got to change to a toe. Yep. And then now really drive up off the foot to get the height. Yes. Execute and match. Good work. So that is our first top of women's 2. It goes. This is good news.
It does go.
The route setters will be happy. So we have seen a top on female 1 and female 2 now, which is good news. But in the men's field, we're yet to secure a top on either of the boulders. Sorry, all three of the boulders. So fingers crossed, as the higher qualifiers come out, we're going to start to see some more tops. But they're coming out thick and fast now. We've got a full rotation in play up to men's 3 and women's 3. But these are our next competitors. We have Eddie Carr and Sol Calvert. Let's see what they make of these. I noticed in the qualification yesterday, Sol was climbing really well, really smooth, came out quite late in the field as well, and was making short work of some of the boulders. Jess straight in on this second boulder, making good work. She's getting stood up and just missing the dyno up to the zone. Yeah, I think when we were getting a briefing on these boulders, one thing I noticed was I thought all of the start positions today were actually really challenging.
Yeah,
And,
there's a lot of very small boxes, not much space to move around.
Exactly,
in.
yeah.
I think especially the taller competitors might find it especially challenging this
Exactly.
semi-final round.
A lot of poor feet and extended positions, which I think is really difficult. But yeah, Jess making great work on this second boulder. Again, just our second competitor now to reach the zone hold, and trying to figure out how to get up onto this match. Oh, just not quite good enough.
Edie also making fantastic progress on women's 1.
Yeah, read
Just
that
working
first
her way
sequence perfectly. Now pressing up into the groove. These squadra holds, for those of you at home not familiar with them, good in certain portions, but very slopey in others. And yeah, that's another top for her. Fantastic effort from Eddie Carr, topping her first boulder. That'll put her at ease. Good way to start. So starting to see some more tops coming through, which is good. And we got on the bottom left hand corner of your screen, we've got George and Conrad on their third boulders, just brushing away all the dirt. Obviously, as the competition progresses, we're going to get the higher qualifiers coming out. You know, it's a bit of a mixed bag. You know, you're going to get more chalky, more dirty holds, but hopefully more understanding as to the sequences, a few more clues on the wall. Here we go, Jess, number 38 on your screen, high up on this second boulder again, just needs to lock it down. Oh, chalking up. She's a route climber. Fair play, Jess, come on, match it to finish. Yes, good work. Okay, these problems being unlocked, good to see.
You said about Jess being a lead climber. She actually took gold at the Irish Lead Climbing Championships in
That'll be it
2019. She does compete in both boulder and lead.
Gosh, she's one of those really talented people. That's
Yeah.
annoying, isn't it?
Good at everything.
Damn it. Yeah, here goes Regenda getting stuck into this groove again. Oh, you probably can't see at home, but the starting position, you've got the big slopey volume for your feet and a couple of small slopey crimps, but immediately you have to float this foot out far right onto a very small slopey edge, and essentially just lock in and press out the groove and get established up onto the head wall in some very poor backstep slopey volumes. Nobody in the men's field unlocking that sequence just yet. So currently we have seen tops on female 1, female 2, nothing on female 3, and similarly in the men's competition only just one zone so far, so plenty to play for. Really need to keep focused, all these competitors. The zones will count, probably quite important in this round, so they need to keep focused and not lose heart from not getting a top. Come on, Rajendra. You've got to be pushing. Not much pulling on those volumes. And bottom right hand corner of your screen, you can just see Conrad trying to start this boulder. It's a really, again, difficult start position. You've got to throw this toe hook in outright, while sort of backhanding with the right hand a very small one ball crimp. Really tricky. So no top again on that one. We're going to have Chris Katari coming out for his attempt on that boulder shortly. But we're going to bring in some new competitors. Who we got in the men's?
In the men's, I believe we have Andrew Mawini.
Winnie, another new name on the start list. Good to see. And we've got Florence Brailsford coming in the women's one. Good strategy from these guys. You know, first semi-final for some of them, and you know, they're so experienced. A lot of these guys coming through from the junior ranks that it's just another competition for them. They're not really not that they're not learning anything. Of course they're learning, but they're prepared. You know, they've done their apprenticeship through the junior round, so yeah, they're really hitting the ground running. So Pippa Watkin on number 16, top right hand corner of your screen. She's just trying to figure out this start position. She knows she doesn't want to waste any attempts, so she's just trying to find the right one. Andrew Mulwiney just slipping off those starting volumes again. Super hard to generate momentum off the slopey feet. It's kind of like your worst nightmare to come out to this boulder. A lot to think about. And we've also opened up female and men's 4, so which is the last problem in this round, being the semi-finals. So
got Robin getting that toe hook in those
Robin
contact
climbing
holds.
really well on that fourth boulder. You can see bottom right hand corner of the screen, the big red contact holds. First climber to get up here, so she got a top on the first boulder from memory, so if she can get another top here, she'd be putting herself in with a good shout so far. But it's clear straight away in the women's field we are definitely going to be needing lots of tops to qualify for tonight's final. Only 6 go through, remember. Just from the bottom corner of your screen, you've got her on these big red contact holds. There is another climber also on their rotation to the right, which is Rory Cummins. He's on his last problem of the day, which we'll talk you through in a sec. You can just see it panning into view now. It's a really complex groove problem again. Awkward start position with poor feet. It seems to be a theme.
A running theme.
Yeah, and once you get pulled on, you sort of have to go all the way left to go all the way right. So a lot of movement to figure out. Yeah, lovely. Nice start shot and pressing into the groove. That's it. Up onto the shoulder, and then you've got to find that right position. Nope. Good to see the knees getting in play already, but you're going to need feet rather than knees, that's for sure. Yeah. Robin making short work of this last boulder on her tour. Let's see if we can get a top here. Come on, Robin. Just needs to figure out the position for the rollover. Oh, no, just firing off. Oh, unlucky. Unlucky.
That was looking really good from Robin.
Yeah, but still plenty of time on the clock. So she can rest up now, give it one more good go. I think that's the hard bit about these competitions a lot of the time, is time management.
Yes.
I think a lot of people, you know, at home might be thinking, oh, you know, these problems don't look that bad. Well, they are hard, but what makes them especially hard is that time restriction.
Absolutely. And I think oftentimes in comps you see athletes kind of getting that tunnel vision with beta, where they think they've figured out the method for them.
Exactly.
And then it's very difficult for them to abandon that if they're
getting locked into
try
a
different
particular
things.
method. Yeah, it's always the way, particularly when you start making progress, right? It's hard to sort of have a clean slate and think, oh, am I actually doing this right? In particular, not on your screens right now, or just planning in, but Chris Katari on men's 3, exactly what we're talking about, just struggling to figure out exactly what the start position is. Trying a bunch of different options, super frustrating for him. He's not quite read the toe hook, so not able to pull on and get established. But Lucy Mitchell, meanwhile, on bottom left-hand corner of your screen on the women's 3, the very physical problem getting established in this sort of backhand guppy position with very poor slopey feet. Super difficult. So the familiar beeps for everybody at home. counting down the end of the climb for the next rotation. So we're going to have 2 new climbers join us on Boulder 1. We've got Kimberly on female 1.
And Joe
Walmsley on men's 1. So Joe, familiar face at the British Championships and well known in the British scene. Hopefully he can put on a good show today. And we've got Conrad and George finishing up their tour on their 4th boulder on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. Obviously, just to give you some context, you're seeing 4 squares. Quite confusing to understand where we are on the wall, but essentially the problems are run today left to right. So women's and men's problem 1 are next to each other, then the 2s are next to each other, 3 and 4. So basically they work across the stage from left to right. And in terms of difficulty, it seems pretty consistent for the men. All the boulders are fairly stern today, which you'd expect from a semi-final round. The semi-final round is going to decide which 6 people go through to tonight's final, the showcase final, where there'll be some pretty incredible boulders for them to try and smash out. So the route setter's got a tough job always. I think it's the most underrated job at a competition like this, but it is so important.
Artists.
Yeah. There's some good looking boulders. Beta Setting, one of our sponsors for today, is we are really lucky with the sponsors for this event, but definitely George on the final boulder there again, struggling to get set up. I think there's just a bit of an issue with the graphic on screen, so apologies for that at home. It is actually George, number 22, on the bottom right hand corner of your screen.
Joe Walmsley hitting that zone hold.
Yeah, Joe, really strong effort there. He's only, I think from memory, 2nd competitor to get up to that zone.
Yeah.
So that's going to potentially be really important for him. We've had, I think we're about half a dozen competitors out through now. So almost a third of the way through the field. George, yeah, she's on. Bottom right-hand corner of the screen. George is a fellow southerner. She's based down in London. See her climbing around the walls. It's good to see such a spread of competitors psyched for competition climbing now. We had a really strong female representation this time. Not quite maxing out the start list, but certainly one of the biggest amount of competitors this year, which is great to see the sport developing, particularly in the female category. And national, huge amount of diversity from the field. No longer just a predominantly northern contingent. We've got people from all over the country, which is really great to see. I don't know about you, Hannah, but I'm one of these people that feels like we should maybe extend the competition series to get some kind of regional qualification system going.
Oh, you think?
Yeah, a bit like YCS, where you'd attend a regional event to qualify through to get to the finals.
Yeah.
Because obviously with only 60 places up for grabs in both categories, particularly in the men's, it's literally a lucky dip as to whether you get a ticket or not by how quickly you get online.
Okay, I didn't realise that.
Yeah, to me it always seems a little unfair that you literally could be one of the strongest people in the field but not get a ticket to the event.
You don't get a chance to show what you can do.
I personally would love that, and I think also just to develop the sport more regionally. So yeah, maybe that could be a good addition in the future, but it'd be good to see all these new faces coming through. Sol, number 107 on these green volumes, top right hand corner of your screen, just struggling. That's it, he's got the foothold, needs to get involved now and turn that hand. Yeah, that's it, first guy to get a bit more palm going. And from what I can tell on this boulder, the key is he perfectly figured out that you need to turn that left hand from a shoulder into a palm, but just misreading it slightly. I think he went quite a bit higher. I think actually it might be easier to get your hand palming onto that starting crimp that he's got with his left hand now. So we'll see if he figures that out, but having a lot of attempts on this very physical problem. Only 10 seconds to go. Maybe lacking a bit of strategy there. I personally would have walked away from that a bit earlier, but it's a bit addictive when you're making progress. So here's the replay for Joe, number 76 on your screen.
Men's one really seems to be giving the male competition a lot of issues. We haven't seen any top of men's one. Is that correct?
No top so far in the men's competition, no. Just to give a bit of context to the event, how this works. So these walls out the front here are sort of pretty much full height, 4 metre plus walls. So they're big walls, a complicated movement, a lot of moves to do, and the guys out back in isolation are warming up on an absolutely tiny wall. It's about 2.5, 3 metres by 4 metres. No space to sort of link sequences together and get moving. So when you come out to a boulder that's super complex with a lot of movement, you're almost warming up on the fly for that kind of thing. So I really feel for the guys.
So we have Jim beginning his competition campaign on men's one.
Yeah, Jim, 117, top left-hand corner of your screen. Obviously well-renowned in the British climbing scene. Made British Bouldering Championship finals before, competes internationally on the lead circuit. He didn't have a ranking going into this competition this year. He wasn't able to compete last year. He was away at a World Cup, so poor old Jim was in isolation, I think, for about 4 or 5 hours yesterday, waiting to come out. But still, being the seasoned competitor he is, he absolutely smashed through a couple of boulders to secure a place in the semi-final, and showing his class here on the first boulder, getting it through and established onto the zone hold super quickly. But
so with Jim being on the kind of tail end of an international competition season, do you reckon it's a benefit, or do you think the fatigue at this point?
Good question. 2 ways you can look at that. I think he's obviously... Sorry, just while we remember, we got Andrew, our first climber, to get stood into the zone hold here. Yes, and finding this awkward position, and now he's got to get the back step working. I think just taking that foothold off to readjust was not the right knowledge, but he's got plenty of time, 2:32, and he's unlocked that sequence. The question is, can he repeat it, given how physical it is? We will see. But going back to your original question, is it a good or bad thing to be a competitor, an international circuit competitor? I think yes, I would think it is. More comps you do, the better, I think. If you're a comp climber, you've got more experience. But yeah, fatigue certainly does play into it, particularly at this time of the year when you're at the tail end of the season. You're just desperate for that holiday and break. As you see there, Jim just missing out on floating out to that left-hand hold. If you climb at a gym in your local wall, you're probably familiar with those axis edge holds. Really slopey, not in cut at all, and hard to, when you've got very poor feet down below, hard to generate any kind of upwards momentum. And Jim, being one of the smaller male competitors, just struggling to latch the left hold. Here goes Andrew again, top right hand corner of your screen, this green problem, getting pressed up again. Yes, turning the hand on the crimp like we thought, into the zone hold. Hopefully this time he can be a bit slower, just taking his time.
Ooh.
Yeah,
that looked like it could work for him.
Absolutely, yeah.
Giving him a bit more space.
From what we could tell on this, is about, sure, it's really physical with the hands finding those positions, but you've got to be able to pivot on your feet at the same time and keep contact rather than taking your foot off to readjust. Because the second you take your foot off, you lose that point of contact and then you're out. So ideally you've got to be quite shrewd on the feet and keeping contact but able to pivot. And Jim, top left hand corner, again firing off these eggs, which are super slopey.
It'll be interesting to see, as the competitors continue to come out, how people fare on those egg holds as temperatures get a bit warmer and they get a bit less in good condition.
I just can't wait to keep talking about conditions. My favourite thing. But compared to usual schedule, BBC normally runs first week of July, but we had a delay this year, so we're in August, and actually it's a lot cooler here than we would expect in July. probably almost a good 5-10 degrees cooler.
Yeah, I'm sure the athletes will be happy about that.
Yeah, but so good to see the next rotation, the OG, good friend of mine and putting me to shame, doing it for the oldies, Dave Barons, previous 3-time British bouldering champion, coming out onto Boulder 1. Let's see what he makes of this.
This is Dave's 17th time climbing the British Bouldering Championship.
And just overhearing the commentator in venue, this is Dave's 17th British Bouldering Championship, so it's fair to say he knows what he's doing. But yeah, got a few competitors on the wall. You've got Joe on the top right corner of your screen, getting stuck into the green groove of death, and just not quite finding that position, but got stood up really nicely. I think if he can, again, like the other people, figure out to go back down to that crimp to palm, be able to get stood up a little bit more easily. Barron's just slipping off the first move. Then we've got Rajendra on the bottom right hand corner about to start his 4th problem. And we've got Kimberly on her 2nd, top right hand corner. A lot going on, so apologies folks, I know it's hard to keep track of in this round, and I'm sure there are a lot of people that you might be wanting to watch at home. We're doing our best to cover all the boulders as best we can. Kimberly, number 37 on her 2nd boulder, top right corner, just skidding off that dynamic move through to zone. We've seen a couple of tops on women's 2 so far, but at the moment in the competition it's looking hard, right?
Not that many tops, yeah.
No.
Very stiff.
Just women's 1 and 2 are the only problems to be topped, and in the men's competition just 2 zones secured out of 4. So that just shows the standard. I think it's great to see the standard British climbing now. They're setting, you know, world-class difficulty problems, which you know, it's great experience for these competitors. Can be hard when you're out getting shut down on the boulders, but
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think the more of these you can do, the better.
Yes, absolutely. I think Tara Hayes was saying yesterday in an interview she gave that in the years that she's been competing, she's definitely, it's gotten harder every single year. The standard of competition is going up and up and up.
Exactly. Meanwhile, Rajendra, just slipping off that groove out in the far right-hand corner. Men's 4, the yellow sort of big tube holds. Very complicated to read. Barron's back on boulder 1. Just missing out on the match on that. He's unlocked the sequence. He knows what to do. Just needs one good go. Kimberly teaching across these slopey footholds. Just needs to make the move to the jump. Yeah, here we go. Securing zone.
Oh, well held.
Good work. Very well
held.
held. Good contact strength. Full drag there.
See what she makes the top of this. Whether or not she can make that top hold.
Nice. Full
Wow.
extension again on that drag.
Come on,
Get
Kim.
your feet on. Come on. Keep the weight under.
Come on, Kim.
Needs to swap feet and get that
Should
left foot
match.
really high to match. Yeah, come on.
Yes.
Stick with it.
Yes.
Oh no. 1 minute 23 left, so she's making good progress on that. I think she'll probably know what to do now, just whether she has enough gas left in the tank.
Yeah, I think at this point this is really where tactics come into play.
Totally.
Do you know what you need to do? Do you let the clock tick down and have one solid go? Do you give yourself
Yeah,
a couple of goes as contingency?
that's it. I personally think less is more, right? You just got to
Yeah.
back yourself that you're going to execute it, because otherwise you're going to get so tired on these boulders.
So I think this is the difference between an experienced competitor and myself, because I'd just be wearing myself out.
I don't agree. I think it's just what happens when you get an old guy commentating. He just thinks about all the attempts. Rajendra on the right hand side of your screen, making good work on this final boulder. The first guy, I believe, to get established on the right hand side. And you probably can't tell those tubular holds that he's got his feet on. The middle section of them has friction, but both ends are really polished texture, so super difficult to find the right point of contact. Barron's though, got zone, but just not able to generate again. A bit like Jim Pope, not able to levitate up. The zone's going to help because we have not seen tops yet, so good work for him.
Definitely every little help.
He knows the drill. He'll keep cool and calm, reset for the next boulder. So we've got Eugenie Lee coming out on her first boulder, and Nathan Whaley, another fellow southerner. Seen him down the wall recently climbing at Hang, and he was looking super strong. I really like watching Nathan climb because he's quite an emotional climber. He's really smiley and approachable, and he always just seems like he's having a great time, which I think is the most important thing.
Absolutely. And Nathan made finals last year, is that correct?
Last year or the year before? But yeah, you're right, he's definitely a finalist.
He's, no stranger to finals.
Here goes Jim, top right hand corner of your screen, trying to get into this groove. And again, not quite figuring out the position. Yeah, Nathan sticking that first dyno and just by the skin of his teeth holding on. A quick zone for him, and now he's definitely got the guns for it. Yep, here we go. He's the first
we've seen.
Yeah, come on Nathan, keep it together. Drill that foot, mate. Yes, come on Nathan. Yes, all right.
That is going to be very, very important for him.
Very
the first
important.
top we've seen on men's one, and one of the very few tops we've seen in the whole men's competition. So
amazing.
yeah, he'll be very pleased with that.
And he got
was
it
that
quick.
flash too, second go?
I'm not sure it was a flash, but it was very, very quick. And
Nice.
Jim Pope as well is getting established in this groove, just trying to figure out how to get his left foot released into the bridge. Yeah. Jim's obviously one of our smaller competitors, so maybe he's finding it easier to find that position. And he's secured zone, just needs to keep it together now. He's got plenty of time, and really, this is not the kind of problem you want to repeat. So now, yeah, he is well up and established, found a comfortable position.
I wonder if Jim's trad climbing experience is helping him out here with these kind of awkward, squirmy movements.
I think he just, and with the endurance from his route climbing as well, he's not going to be getting as powered out as the other people.
It's looking really good.
Looking really good, you're right, yeah. Just pressing out round. This is going to be a super important top for him if he can finish it off. Not a gimme. Needs to figure out the position. Yeah, okay. I think it's fair to say our men's competition's kicked off now. We've just seen the first tops. Nathan Whaley topping block 1 and Jim Pope topping block 2. So they go. This is good news.
They do.
I can see as a route set is looking a lot less stressed now, which is good. They're all just behind us to the right, looking very concerned that they'd overcooked it.
Absolutely. So the aim of the game for them is to split the field, right?
Exactly. It is super difficult, let's face it, all of these guys and girls can make finals, right?
Yeah.
You've got a super strong field. How do you split them? You only split them through the route setting and making these climbs that are hard to read and hard to execute. So, yeah, hardest job in the game. So we've seen tops on men's and women's 1 and 2, but nothing on the tail end of the tour, which we do know are the hardest boulders. So as the field, the depth of the field from qualification, we're getting our strongest climbers coming out now in the second half of the draw. We're starting to see the tops increase in frequency, so hopefully when some more competitors come down the field, we'll start to see tops on women's and men's 3 and 4. But to start with, the current field not quite reading the sequences just right. But Adam on the lean now, needs to get across into this groove. Trust the face plant over to the right hand corner. Emma Futcher not enjoying that second boulder too much. 38 seconds to go, she's sacked it off, and
doesn't fancy it.
Yeah,
maybe a
strategy
skin-saving strategy.
Yeah, I think you're right. Like, if you know that lots of people aren't topping boulders, I think it's good knowledge to save some skin and some energy for the next ones.
Because of course you have to remember these athletes will be possibly competing in finals or hoping to compete in finals later on this evening, and they're going to need a little bit of energy and some skin for that.
Yeah, we're actually just in front of Emma, who's on her rest period now, and I can see her fingertips. She's got at least 4 tips taped up, so she is in situation critical with her skin, which is not ideal at all when you're competing at this level. Next rotation out, we have got Zoe Petermans, obviously super experienced competitor, and we've got Stephen Keir in the men's just starting his round, so big hitters coming out. Let's see how they get on. Yeah, Stephen making short work of the force move, but not quite finding the position to hold the match. Men's 2, we got Barons brushing his grips. He knows conditions are everything, taking his time to think about it. He's also fully aware now because Jim Pope has just topped that boulder, and whilst they're not watching, they're not allowed to watch each other, they can certainly hear what's going on around them, and therefore the confidence of knowing that the climb goes is really important. Stephen Keir, he's up on the zone hold, floating out really strong from him.
Good.
Second try for him,
Nice.
so this is a
Possibly
really good effort.
a top.
Oh no.
That's tough.
Yeah, those eggs are nicht sehr gut. Yeah, not good at all. So you've really got to keep it together. I always find it hard when you're staring down the barrel of those last holds and there's no jug. You know it's not a jug, but you've got to keep it together. It's super hard when you're so tired and gassed out from the lower section.
Rosie Higgs
yeah.
taking that swing for the zone.
Yes, you're definitely seeing increased frequency now in the field of people getting high on these boulders, certainly the first 2. But the tail end of the tour is proving very, very difficult in both categories. Zoe Peterman's topping out.
Lovely from Zoe.
Yeah, that was nice. Flash for her, I believe. But doing it super quick, so she'll get 3 minutes to rest, plus another rotation, so 7 minutes. That's not to be undervalued in this comp. Rest.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
It's a great tactic to come out and dispatch a boulder very
Always.
quickly to
Yeah,
make the
that's the
most
way.
of that
That's the
rest
dream.
and that skin.
Oh, it's a good effort from Stephen. Like, cutting loose left hand to transfer all the way onto the right. That's some sick movement. Very intuitive climbing from him. Just letting the body flow. Up to zone. Just powered out. Barons. Not quite finding the right position here. Exploring through the volumes. Needs to get a different strategy, I think. He's trying to go straight up through the volumes. Now, knowing Dave as I do, he is probably the strongest person I've ever met on pinches. He's incredibly good at pinches, so no wonder he was reading that problem as a straight up pinch, but definitely not campusable even for a man of his pinch strength. He needs to get that right foot out and embrace the groove. As we said before, now we've got all 4 boulders in play, a full tour going on, a lot to keep track of. We'll try and get some scores, provisional scores up for you at some point, but it's still early days in the competition. We haven't got all the competitors out, so not much to keep you in the loop about. But what we do know is men's 1, men and women's 1 and 2 both go, so you're definitely going to need to do those problems to qualify so far, and probably as we move down we'll see tops in the 3rd and 4th problems too.
Stephen going again for the top of men's 1. See if he can find the top this time. It's looking
Much better control
towards
from
that
him.
swing.
Just catching it.
Lovely. He'll be happy with that.
Yeah, good work, Stephen. I'm sure he'd be disappointed to have not held it the first time round, but still, tops are good.
The aim of the game.
Name of the game, you're right. You can see on these 3rd problems, the pink Trango holds, bottom left-hand corner of your screen with Kimberly on, really challenging. The same for the men's 3, which is just to the right of that visual there. And these big black slopey pinches, which just absolutely shutting down everybody at the moment. And whilst the field's we're gonna get the stronger climbers from qualification coming out later, Obviously more chalk on the holds, less good conditions. It all comes out and averages out, in my opinion. That's it, we're back on the next rotation. So Nathan Whaley just in front of us here is going to start his second boulder. Emma Futcher, she's starting her third. Jim Pope on his third. Lots of action, Eugenie on her second. And we've got some new competitors coming out. I believe that's Hannah Slaley starting. And who have we got in the men's field? Sam Butterworth, yeah. So big hitters just coming out one after the other now. We've still got current British champions, Emily Phillips and Max Milne, obviously later. In the women's field, we've got Holly Tutil, Tara Hayes, Molly Thompson-Smith, Emily Phillips, Gwyneth Utley, Jen Wood, Michaela Tracy. That's not a shabby field.
It's all right,
all still out the back. Nathan Whaley is climbing so well. He's gone for a more dynamic approach to this groove and absolutely smashing it up. Come on, Nathan. Yeah, getting established. Needs to get the back step in now. Finding the right position.
Eugenie also heading towards the top of women's 2.
Yeah, this problem I think suits her quite well. She is very good on her feet and
oh, lovely.
Likes the controlled style of climbing.
Fantastic.
And that's a very quick top from her. Flash, almost certain that's a flash.
Yeah, I think so.
Sam Butterworth as well, sticking the first dyno and now securing zone. As we know, this next move, floating out to the next egg, is tricky. But Jim Pope is making amazing progress. He's the first competitor to get stuck up on the men's 3. We were speaking to the route setters earlier about this section here, and Jim's actually done it in a slightly different sequence to what they were anticipating. They were anticipating that he would have his hands the other way around there, but absolutely breaking that boulder. The right foot is not good. Yes, Jim. Here we go.
And those holes through the middle section there for Jim, they're not good. They're blocked.
Not good.
So,
but he just smashed through. Very impressive from him. That is the first top of anything on the second half of the tour in the men's. So,
and with time to spare as well.
Yeah, very good effort from him. So he's topped, the only person at the moment in the men's field to top 2 climbs. He did men's 2 and 3, which is pretty impressive. He'll be disappointed with men's 1 because he had secured the zone several times but just couldn't generate enough to get out and finish it off. That may come back to haunt him on the rest of the competition, but we shall see. We shall see. Emma Futcher, just bottom left-hand corner of your screen, taking a break, number 14 on her third boulder. Definitely the hardest female one. Top left, we've got Sam Butterworth, who's absolutely nailing the start moves on this climb, which a lot of our competitors have struggled with, but then quite opposite, struggling to get established on the Nathan Whaley doing a very different sequence.
Looks like it's working for him though.
And absolutely broken the sequence that the route setters were intending.
I'm
very
sure the route
impressive.
setters will be looking on in horror.
I know, they're just behind us now and they are enjoying watching him break that sequence. And he's just got to keep it together now. Keep the weight through his feet. Come on, Nathan. That's it. Finish it off. Nathan Whaley.
Beautiful.
2 tops for Nathan. Absolutely smashing it. And if you did miss it, we'll hopefully get a replay of him and the alternative sequence he had at the start there. But that was some clever climbing from him.
It was. It looks like he's definitely enjoying his semi-final rounds. Like, full of smiles.
Nathan's captain smile. He is always smiling, even when he's falling. It's really good to see. Quite refreshing.
So Hannah with 40 seconds, just over 40 seconds left to work her way up this final section of women's 1.
She's one of the most seasoned female competitors we have here today. Very experienced. Previous junior world champion from memory, if I recall, and just getting a top on that first boulder. So she, while she didn't flash it, she's certainly keeping pace. You know, good to get the top in the bag and move on through the round. Sam Butterworth still slugging away on this. He's secured zone a couple of times and just run out of time there, and gas. I think he'll be frustrated with that because I think he knew what to do quite early and just pinged off a couple of times.
Couldn't quite execute it in the time.
So we have somebody who's pretty good at climbing coming out.
He's all right, isn't he?
He's all right.
Been
Will
doing some
Bosey.
decent things outside recently.
Yeah, he's done a few bits. Obviously, one of our most recognised probably faces on the international circuit, and rock. Will Bosey is no slouch when it comes to climbing. Climbed incredibly hard across all disciplines. So let's see what he can do today. Watch out for him. He's number 85 on Boulder 1. And then we've got Hannah Smith, number 12 on the top left-hand corner of your screen, starting out her comp. Again, she's very experienced, and see how she gets on with the coordination start. Basically, right-hand palm, left foot plant up high. Stephen Keir, top right-hand corner of your screen, getting started on the green volumes. Zoe Peterman's just next to him, who's absolutely crushing this women's 2 problem, making short work. She's really read this sequence really well. She's up high, chilling out.
She could chalk up.
Yeah, she's a route climber. She knows what to do. Absolutely smashing it.
Lovely.
And securing a top. 2 tops for her, I think.
I believe so,
Yeah, I think
So
she
the
got-
tops are coming thicker and faster.
Yeah, I think she got a top on the first one. So we'll try and get some more coverage. Here we go. Number 33. We've got Rosie Higgs on this 3rd boulder for women's, which is super physical. Really, really basic. You know,
Very tricky.
high compression shoulder move on this big purple pink Trango hold.
And we haven't seen a top of women's 3 at all.
Nope, women 3
Or a zone, I don't believe.
Nope, no zones just yet. And I think we've seen a zone on women's 4, which is the one in the bottom right hand corner of your screen, number 37. Kimberly just trying now. Stephen Keir trying the Nathan Whaley sequence.
Looked almost like he was about to start heading up left. And
That's it. I think he might have figured out that Nathan took a different approach. Kimberly, on number 37, just falling off that final move on the red contact holds on the right hand side of the wall. Everything happening thick and fast.
We've got Joe heading across those yellow volumes at the end.
Oh yeah, here we go. Rosie, first female to get up to zone on women's 3. This is a really good effort from her. So now, unfortunately, she needs to match. Yeah, she's figured it out. She needs to roll into this zone hold with the left, and then really powerful move out to the shoulder here. Come on, stay tight
very
now.
Nice.
Drive up through the feet. Left hand, here we go.
Looking really good from Rosie.
Looking good. Now we've got some knowledge from the route setters on this last hold. She's got to go.
Not there.
Yeah. The knowledge is you've got to go very slowly and to the bottom of that slot. The bottom of the slot is an absolute jug, but if you go to the top, it is not good. Really good to see her getting up high on this boulder. It's so far flummoxed every other female competitor. Question is, has she got enough time? She used a lot of energy on that. She's only got 110, so obviously it's just one good go. See if she's got enough left.
Over on men's 1, Will has been going for quite a unique beat with the very high heel. The rock over the high right heel, which seemed to be working for him.
Nice. And Hannah Smith also struggling with this first boulder, which sure will be infuriating her. She knows what to do, just can't quite stick the position. Stephen Keir as well, getting back into the groove, pressing it out in the original method. Will Bosey, it's just not going his way on this first boulder yet. Kimberly moving on the bottom right hand corner of the screen, moving very well through these contact holds. 10 seconds left pretty much, so she's got to be quick if she's going to get the zone, which she is. But that buzzer just running down as she's at the top. Absolutely gutting for her. That's the worst line you want it.
With that said, with so few tops in women's one so far, zones could come into
zones
play
would be important.
importantly.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, we read through that start list just earlier about the people who are still coming out. Currently we've got Michaela Tracy joining the competition with Tommy Matthews, so it's just WOD after WOD coming out now. Sorry for the knowledge, WOD, if you're not familiar, is just an absolute beast of a climber, so very, very strong. And they're coming out thick and fast. Just with the men's, to let you know who's still to come out, we've still got Aidan Dunn, Billy Rydell, Alex Waterhouse, Kieran Forrest, Nathan Phillips and Max Milne. So multiple British champions still to come out, previous podium winners as well. So it's fair to say there's still all to play for in this competition. But Tommy Matthews figured out that first move, just not quite executing. Eugenie Lee, though, climbing really well on this women's 3, which we know is the hardest one so far.
Nice.
And she secured the zone, I think, on her first attempt. So if she can generate here and get out right,
It's nicely set up for that move, going with the left hand to the zone.
Yeah.
Frees up that right, rather than having to drop back down as we've seen previously.
Exactly. I really like watching Eugenie. She has such a good style. Like, she's a very technical climber. And,
very gymnastic.
But just not quite figuring out that move out right. Hannah Slaley making good progress on women's 2, but just not latching the zone hold. But meanwhile, we totally missed it. Jim, on the far right-hand, bottom right-hand corner of your screen, is the first male to get up high onto the men's 4, and we're told this last match position, so it's a completely flat, slopey hold that you can't crimp to finish. So it's all about finding the right position with your feet, and it is basically a bit of a knee bar. So you need to be standing on the top of that rail and scumming your knee into the penultimate hold to take a little bit of weight off to enable you to match the last hold, which is effectively nothing.
Yeah, might as well not be there.
Yeah, and you can see here he's really struggling to find the
He's been there for a while, which I'm sure will be playing into his mind if he knows he's got any subsequent attempts, but hopefully not. Hopefully we are about to see a top.
Yeah, he's just not quite finding the right knee position just to take the weight off. Michaela Tracy, again on the left-hand side of your screen, is topping out on her first boulder, so that's a good start for her. We'll just keep that going, but for me it's all about Jim at the moment, because if he can top this, he'll have 3 tops, which is going to put him in a good position.
He'll be drawing on every ounce of his lead experience, his endurance training.
Totally.
He's been up there for a long while.
He's trying every single option, and of course this is not where you want to be with options to do, and you're getting more and more fatigued. You can just see start to shake in the legs because it's very, very intensive on the calves. Sam Butterworth, though, you can just see in frame in those green volumes, bottom left-hand corner of the screen, has got established and got the zone. He's figuring out this sort of groovy position. Just slipping out. I think once you're established in the groove, you can sort of put a little bit more ability to take some weight off your arms and recover, but yeah, just powering out there. Eugenie Lee back on to her third boulder.
So a minute left for the competitors now. That's what that beeping sound is, to tell them that they've just got a minute left to complete the boulder.
Be tight, strong. No, she's just not enjoying that move outright. Quite shouldery, and being quite tall and technical climber, I think she's just not quite able to engage the biceps and shoulders to get a opposing position on those holds there. Hannah Staney lining up the jump, top right hand corner of your screen, number 6 on her second boulder. She's just not quite finding the position. Sam Butterworth is up in the groove. Jim Pope has... Oh, Jim Pope got the match, but just slipped off that position and gave it the fake celebration, hoping to trick the judge, I think, that he had done it, but no dice for him.
Great show from Jim, though. That was brilliant to watch. Great
Yeah,
fight.
I think so far it's still early doors. We don't know. Here's the replay. Finding that position to try and match the non-hold. Yeah, good effort from him. It's literally a nothing hold. There is no crimp or anything.
No.
It's all in the legs,
your
and
fingernails involved in.
just losing that position. But he got 2 tops and 4 zones, so he could be in with a good shout for finals, depending on how it goes later. Because, as we said, we've got Aidan Dunn now, who's one of the next starters joining us, number 67, on the left-hand side of the wall, with Jen Wood, who's probably our most experienced female competitor today, or certainly one of.
Absolutely. Jen made finals last year at the British
every
Bouldering
year.
Championships,
Yeah.
and probably every year previously. So she'll be hoping to retain that position moving into finals
Absolutely.
tonight.
And Hannah Smith has made short work of this female too. She's up high on the penultimate hold, just needs to get her feet up now. Same with Will Bosey,
Also
who's
looking great,
absolutely
yeah.
smashing his second boulder just to the right of Hannah on the top right hand corner of your screen. He's got established in the green groove of
Top
death.
from Hannah.
But that's a top for Hannah. After disappointment on the first one, that'll set her stress levels down a bit for sure. Top for Jen on boulder 1, number 4, top left hand corner of your screen. That's good work. And Aidan Dunn also making good progress on his first boulder. He's gone for a slightly different method with the high feet, trying to do that move static, which definitely, from watching everybody else, is a much harder way. Zoe Petermans has sneaked through on this bottom left hand corner, women's 3, which is the hardest boulder. Nobody topped this yet today, but she's just got to hold this foothold, aim for the bottom part of the slot, which is good. Come on, Zoe.
Yeah.
Yes, good effort. That's it.
That's big. Big
First
for her.
top on women's 3. That is awesome work, and I think she's done all 3 climbs so far.
That'll stand her in very good stead for
So, yeah.
a final spot.
Good indication in the female competition that you are going to need a lot of tops. And again, we've got number 68 in the men's category, Stephen Keir, who's up high on men's 3, which is certainly one of the harder boulders in their tour. Just lining up. All these holds up there are not great. He sort of went dynamically for what is a very small finger lock. And the knowledge we got from the route setters is you ideally don't want to go with your right hand to that. You want to go to it with your left. So we'll see if he can make the adjustments. Aidan Dunn on top left hand corner, trying to do this statically again, but just getting sucked into a particular methodology, which, as you said earlier, can be a bit of a curse if you get into a particular sequence that maybe isn't the right one. All the other climbers who've secured the zone have been going for quite a dynamic flick out left from the low foothold, but he's trying to get his right heel really high and sit on that locked off position, but we'll see if he changes his approach on the next go. Will Bosey is in the top right hand corner of your screen on these green simple volumes, trying to get stuck into these. Really difficult groove section, which is just a nightmare to figure out. Stephen Keir again getting stuck in on this third boulder. He made short work of it on his first couple of attempts, bypassing the moves outright. Really impressive, breaking the boulder to go straight to zone, and he's certainly in a better sequence now if he can get his left foot on and roll over into the finger slot. Just missed I think just had his hand turned the wrong way. And instead of going with palm forward, kind of wanted to take it with palm towards himself, more as a finger lock. But good effort from him, securing zone.
Rosie Higgs, bottom right, only got 5 seconds left, but she has secured the zone, and unfortunately
just missing
has
it on the
just
buzzer.
buzzered.
So another couple of climbers coming out. We've got Gwyneth Etterley and Billy Rydell. They are absolute weapons, really, really strong climbers, seasoned competitors, both made finals last year, so they'll be looking to do the same again. But we're seeing quite a mixed bag in this competition today. Not necessarily a given coming out later that you're going to be doing these problems. We've just seen Aidan Dunn have a real issue with the first boulder, which we know can be completed. We've seen a few tops on that. Similarly on men's 2. But currently the only boulders that have not been topped are female 4 and men's 4. But we've got Nathan Whaley, who's been having a dream tour so far. Bottom right hand corner of your screen on his first attempt. Getting across on this groove. He's had a fantastic round so far. Billy making short work of men's 1. Really strong from him. Locking this last move down. Yeah, just not quite latching that last egg properly. Looked like he couldn't keep contact with his right hand and just slipping off at the last minute. He had quite an awkward position for his foot as well, maybe for the lock. Tommy Matthews doing well
Making
on
great
men's 2.
progress. Oh, unfortunate.
Really strong position on that securing zone, which will be important. But we've seen most people who get up high onto this zone hold managing to finish the boulder, so fingers crossed he can do it. I always like watching Tommy. He's a bit like Nathan, really positive, smiley, happy climber. Eugenie Lee over on the right hand side is up high and looking really strong on this last boulder. We've not seen a top, I don't think, so far in this comp, so if she can secure one on this, she'll be in good stead.
Thought about it, thought better of it.
Yeah, just bailing out of that rollover move, which I think is the method.
Just for clarity, I believe the female climber on female 1 is actually Gwyneth Etterley.
Yeah, that's right.
As opposed to Emily Phillips.
Yeah. So Emily coming out just next. But yeah, you can hear some crowd noise. That was Michaela Tracy topping her second boulder, so she's done the first 2. Great work from her. Nathan Whaley over on the far right. Actually, just correcting myself, Nathan didn't do the third boulder, so he's only done 2 so far. But if he can do this, he'd be in with a really good shout, joining the pack at the top with 3 tops. That would be the best if he can figure it out. But so far, only Jim Pope has got anywhere really near doing this boulder, but getting timed out at the end on the match of the last hole. Billy back on with Gwyneth, smashing through these starting moves, and oh no, just dry firing off that position. Lots to keep track of. Strong climbers everywhere now. Tommy Matthews getting stuck into this groove really easily. Then we've got Eugenie Lee on the right on these red volumes, cruising through the contact volumes, finding that knee bar really easily. And then Gwyneth Utterly, top left, just trying to find the match position. There it is, top for her. Eugenie, she knows what to do now. She just needs to be a bit stronger on this rollover. That's it. Yes, good work from Jenny. Topping out, always good to finish on the top. She climbed really well on the tour. Be interesting to see if she does qualify. She secured zone on that hard women's 3, but still so many strong people to come out. It's early days, too difficult to know right now. But Billy Rydell will be very, very annoyed. 20 seconds. has to move quickly and top this boulder. Just not quite enough. He will be devastated after dropping the last hold on the flash. That is not what you want. Nathan Whaley, who climbed so well on the first 2 boulders, is going to be timed out on this last one. Still, good effort from him. I believe he topped the first 2 very, very quickly, maybe even flashes, so at least he's put himself in with a good shot of progressing. Here's some provisional results on your screen. So Jim Pope leading the way with 2 and 3. He was super unlucky on both problem 1 and 4, just not quite finishing them off. Had he done that, he would be almost certainly through to the finals. But yeah, then Nathan Whaley with 2 attempts and 5. But fresh on your screen, Alex Waterhouse coming out, number 65. And here's some provisional women's results. Zoe Keeterman's leading the pack, and she still has 1 boulder to go. Aidan Dunn climbing really well on this second boulder. He's absolutely cruised up into the top groove section. You can't quite see on your screen yet, but we will get that to you. He's up really high, but just slipping out. Zoe Petermans is cruising through this 4th problem on the right hand side. She has absolutely dominated this competition so far, and making short work of this last one. See how she gets on with this last move. The left hand hold she's on is really, really terrible. It's kind of a non-hold, but the slot crimp is pretty good. Now she needs to stand up high on the feet, be confident. See what she does here. She's in, staring down the barrel, and that's it. Top for her. So good finish for her, and I think she may have topped all the boulders. I think she did them all. I'm not quite sure. We'll find out later. There's a lot to keep track of, but yeah, certainly at 3, possibly 4, which is going to put her in with a great shot of topping out. Stephen Keir on the far right, bottom right hand corner of your screen, one of the first people to get across onto this final section. Really difficult finish. Dual text volumes, nowhere really to stand solidly.
Aidan fighting his way up men's 2.
Yeah, good work from Aidan. And Jen Wood just to his left, number 4, which is the top right hand corner of your screen, making short work of this second boulder. Really steady.
Nice job.
Trying hard, but still looking very controlled. She's got to explode now off this steady position into the slot. Yeah, nicely done, Jen. Jen Wood. Good top for her.
Alex Waterhouse over on men's 1, struggling a little to get that first dynamic move in the bag.
Yeah,
and Alex has a bit of a history with this competition, having been 1 spot out of finals for the last 2 years. So maybe this could be, hopefully this could be Alex's
hopefully. He's always such an animated character as well, and been on the international circuit. He's doing an amazing sequence on that, using one of the screw holes of the big macro hold for his thumb, which is just mental.
Yes.
Yeah, to be able to keep
is.
tension just on that thumb. It's a slightly overhanging wall, it's not even a slab.
Incredible strength.
Very good sequence, and basically just bypassing the awkward coordination move. So if he can actually top it with that, that would be a really good effort for him. Emily Phillips, though, is on her first boulder, just struggling to figure out the transition next to Alex Waterhouse. What I'm thinking is quite interesting in the comp so far is normally you'd expect the people coming out at this point in the competition to just be flashing and smashing all of the boulders, but we're really seeing them struggle. So Emily Phillips, you can see top left hand corner of the screen, the current British champion, is really struggling to get this coordination move dialed in, but there she goes. I've helped her out with the commentator curse, and now she's going to have to move quickly through this section. She's only got 30 seconds. She's got to get across and up. She knows what to do. She's moving well. has to get this top really to stand chance of keeping pace with the rest of the crew. Here we go.
It's looking
Nice and
good.
slow.
Yeah.
Good work. Kept it together really well because that was high pressure.
Alex going for a kind of thumb sprag undercling
Yeah.
on that big hold, which is, we've not seen that yet.
And Stephen Keir and Aidan Dunn both just getting timed out and having to rush the last section of their route. But securing zones, and zones will be important. So we'll see what happens towards the end. But you know, they'll be disappointed. But we just got to try and reset. Every boulder is new. Keep it together, stay focused, and hope that you can bring some kind of run on the rest of the tour. So here we go. We got 2 new competitors out. Molly Thompson-Smith, so good to see her back in the British Championships. I think it's 5 years or so.
Yeah, it
since.
has been a long time.
Yeah.
She's off the back of international competition season again. She's been cashing in some excellent results over out in the League World Cups.
Certainly one of our strongest sport climbers in the GB team, and been competing internationally for a number of years, and there's always been a clash with the BBCs and other events abroad which she's had to prioritise, so good to see her competing. And in the men's, obviously we've welcomed Kieran Forrest, who qualified in 3rd. Michaela Tracy, number 29, bottom left hand corner of your screen, is smashing through this hard women's 3 boulder, which we've not seen many tops on yet. Climbing really well. Very, very strong and controlled. She's always a very powerful climber. She just needs to find the right position for this. Hold the swing.
And she holds it.
Yeah.
She'll be very, very pleased.
Very
with that.
good effort from her.
Big smile from
Yeah.
Michaela.
That's 3 tops for her so far. So all smiles today for Michaela. Yesterday she was not enjoying her life, but today she is. And Billy wrestling through these green volumes. He
Certainly
needs
less
this
stressful.
top.
Go on, Billy.
Yes, Billy.
Yeah.
Good. Solid top from Billy. Giving it the victory
You can
bump.
see what it means to him.
Yeah, he had a really unfortunate time on men's 1, just dropping the last hold on his flash go and then couldn't get back up there. So that's an important top for him, and he needs to keep it together. Billy wants to win. There's no way of getting around it. Like, he came 2nd last year due to count back from previous rounds, which is always an unfortunate way to lose a competition.
He will be on the redemption arc.
You know it. But yeah, Kieran Forrest is still trying his hand at this first boulder. Men's 1 has proved really difficult. It's one of these problems that the people who do it seem to do it very quickly and very easily, and otherwise you just spend a lot of time with a lot of attempts. Molly Thompson-Smith, MTS, making short work of this first boulder. Now she figured out the foot plant, and she's slowly making her way through. I was having a chat to her after qualifications yesterday, and she was excited to be back, but definitely feeling the fatigue after the end of a long season and nursing a bit of a niggle. So hopefully it's not going to affect her too much for this. But she was just really psyched to be here and competing again. Yeah, come on, Kieran.
Looking really good from Kieran.
Come on, we know this last move's not a gimme.
Gave Billy some trouble going for that top move, so hopefully he can. Oh,
Same
very
thing.
similar story.
Yeah, so the issue seems to be, so obviously these egg holds are very slopey, and even the last one, whilst it's positive, it's not a crimp that you can really dangle off, and the key part seems to be actually the left foot. The more you can pivot your left foot to take out some of that swing, the easier it is to sort of keep contact with the hold. And both Billy and Kieran have struggled to adjust both things simultaneously, so hopefully he can figure that out. Those of you joining us now, a bit of a backstory. All of the boulders, have been topped now, apart from men's 4, which is on the far bottom right hand corner of your screen. This groove of death, which Sam Butterworth, number 66, is getting stuck into. It's a really tricky finish. Basically, the handhold that you finish with is a non-hold. There's nothing to crimp or bone. You just have to try and create tension through a very dubious knee bar up high. So we'll see if anyone tops that. But we're welcoming a power couple of climbers. We've got Tara Hayes and Nathan Phillips. Nathan, obviously a previous bouldering champion, twice a winner?
I believe so, not last year, the 2 years previously.
Yeah, 18, 19 I think.
Yes,
yeah,
sounds right.
pre-COVID. Whole other world. Hard to remember. But yeah, and of course Tara Hayes, wearing number 3 on the left-hand side, is a very experienced competitor, made finals numerous times, so I'm sure she'll be looking to put a good tour together. Alex Waterhouse.
Looking good through this groove, managing to get
straight up through
quite a bit of space there.
Into this, and he's such a shrewd seasoned competitor. Like, he's all over the volume screw holes, just trying to use them to create some kind of tension.
Top from Emily on women's 2.
Flash, just straight out, absolute crush. We didn't even get time to mention it. Will Bosey on the right hand side on men's 4. Fair to say he's had a rough ride this tour. It's not gone his way, unfortunately. We know he is obviously one of the strongest and most seasoned competitor, but these comp blocks just sometimes quite hard to read and unlock, and unfortunately not gone his way. He hasn't got a top so far today, so he'll be wanting to finish strong. Aidan Dunn picking his way through this really hard M3, doing the sequence that the route setters intended, smashing through these unpositive pinches, and now he has to roll, that's it, with the heel, roll to this slopey crimp that's blocked.
Looking good.
Going to the finger lock like Jim did. Come on, stick with it, buddy. Got to lock it down now. That foothold is really not great. He's got his right foot on. He's trying to avoid anything. Here he goes. Very good work from Aidan. Turn the pinch, that's it, and match it up. Very good top for him. And Will Bosey,
making great progress.
Yeah, making good progress.
Let's see if
he needs it.
What he makes of the top of this.
Jinwood, yes, it is Jinwood, topping out on female 3, smashing through quickly. Tops coming thick and fast, that's what we want. Looks like in the women's competition you are going to have to do probably all of the climbs, I would imagine, to be sure of qualifying. Here goes Will on these knee bars. Nobody has managed to match the final hold. Jim Pope came very close. He's waving to the crowd like, I don't know what to do, and you're right, you've just got to really trust that foot and get that scum of your knee. Just panning up a little bit, you can see the last hold is just actually in the sun as well. It's like nothing's going his way. So. Will chatting away with the crowd, trying to figure it out. I think he wished he would brought a knee pad with him. Alex Waterhouse brushing those green holds, the green groove of death. Again, a bit like men's 1, we've seen people do it very quickly and easily, and we've seen a lot of people struggle.
Go on, Will. Will has actually chalked up his knee.
Yeah, good man.
To
good
get
knowledge.
that in there. It still looks like he's really struggling. Looks quite confused.
You've not missed anything, Will. You've just got to embrace the knee scum. There you go. That's the position we were told that works. Standing on the dual text and knee barring to release it. Yep, he's had enough. Just jumped off. He's very frustrated, I think, after that tour. Just I think he knows perhaps that even if he topped it, it wasn't going to be enough. So we lose Will Bosey from this competition. But meanwhile, Alex Waterhouse back up in the groove. Yeah, twisting through the feet, that pivoting I was talking about being really important on this climb. Well done, Alex, come on. Oh no, just slipping off the right foot. Not gone his way again, but Alex is always one of those guys that I think finds it okay, has a good ability to reset climb to climb, so he's still got 2 more boulders to go, and you know, if you can get 2 flashes, you'd be in with a good shot, so let's hope he can keep it together. Here we go though, our strongest qualifiers from yesterday, Holly Tutil and Max Milne. So Holly is our previous champion from
2019, I think.
Yeah. And Max Milne was crowned champion for the first time last year and absolutely dominated from start to finish. He's absolutely on fire internationally. He's been consistently making, he's made every semi-final this season apart from one competition recently, which I know he was really disappointed with, but you know, he's a perfectionist and that is why he's got to the level he has.
Yeah, I think Max's style is just so interesting to watch. His movement is captivating.
Yeah, super intuitive. MTS, number 32, top right corner of the screen, smashing it so far. Been really steady on this second climb. She just needs to drive up through the feet, grab this last slot. Nicely done. Keep tension. Easy. Same for Holly. That's a flash for Holly on 1, flash for Holly on 2.
And Michaela
a flash for
also
Michaela.
going for top.
So that's 4 tops for her, and I think she might have flashed them all. We'll double check the scores in a bit, but
can't really ask for any better than that.
No, she's absolutely smashed it, and will almost certainly be through to the final, I would imagine. Billy Rydell trying so hard on this third climb, absolutely mauling these holds. Super impressive. Very, very slopey holds.
Max topping out men's 1.
So that's a top for Max.
Starting as he needs to go on.
He'll be annoyed as ever. You can see him there, not happy, slipping off that first move. Just an absolute perfectionist. I love that about Max. Like he's just not happy unless it's perfect.
Yeah.
Nothing. I accept nothing but perfection. But we can see him here. He's already reset. Smiles. Tops to top at the end of the day, and he'll reset for the next ones. So it's starting to slow down, as you can see. Less people on the wall. We've now got our strongest qualifiers out, so there's a lot more tops happening, which means that they get to have extended rest. So at the moment we're only seeing Kieran on the wall on men's 2, but fully established, and Gwyneth Utley on the third climb, which we know is super powerful, so let's see how she does on that.
Trying to get the toe hook in there, Gwyneth, on a women's 3, which would be a very tricky way of doing it, I think.
Kieran Forrester up high now, needs to just manage to compress and move the feet up. This is the tricky bit, is to get the feet up in this section. Yeah, nicely done. Just holding the slip, that's it. Come on, Kieran. Yeah, finish it off, mate. Super strong there. Matching it. That's a top for Kieran Forrest. Good work from him. Billy Rydell really struggling and getting frustrated on the third climb. Tommy Matthews teetering across on his fourth climb on the right hand side. No tops on that. That is the only boulder we've not seen done yet. Gwyneth Utley, number 5, wrestling through this powerful section. She's up. She just needs to keep some weight going through the feet. She's quite low on that left foot. Yeah, I think that's going to be something maybe she could work on, is trying to get that left foot higher earlier so that she can really stand up a bit strong. the trouble with that is, it puts more physicality into the top half of your body. So whilst having your feet low makes it easier to get established onto the first big pink hold, when you try and use that pink hold then to get up to the zone hold, your feet aren't high enough to allow that.
Sure.
So you kind of have to do the hard thing to do the easier thing on the next
set
move.
yourself up nicely to go for the zone.
But we are across now. Tara Hayes, Nathan Phillips starting their second boulders, and Emily Phillips and Alex Waterhouse moving on to their third boulder, Jen Wood and Aidan Dunn on their fourth. So lots of things to see, lots of big hitters on the wall now. So it's so interesting to see all the tactics of these guys. Like, they basically all do the same routine. There's about 30 seconds or so of viewing, brushing, chalking, and then they're looking. They know less attempts is better, so they're not getting overexcited, hurling themselves at these boulders. They're taking their time and really trying to just have as few goes as possible. Tara just struggling to get this heel up. She really needs to maybe have a think about it. That's it, get the match in first. Come on, campus up, get that heel in, readjust your hands, and then go for the top. So Tara and Jen both making short work of this so far. Keep it together, Tara. Come on. Nicely done.
Come on,
Just
Tara.
not keeping attention. Come on, Tara. Keep it together. Just powered out, I think, on that, unfortunately. But you've got loads in the tank. She'll regroup.
Yeah, looks very disappointed.
Yeah. Nathan, so good at rock climbing. Nathan, like, he just knows how to use his body.
Emily heading for the
Emily
top
Phillips.
on women's three.
Yeah. Come on, she's not in the good bit. Go for
Can
the
she
jug.
make it work?
Get the jug.
Yeah, she can make it work.
Yeah. Good work from Emily.
So we have it
A
on
lot of
authority
passion
from
there.
the route setters that the top part of that hold is not the part you want to go for,
No.
but it didn't seem to bother Emily.
Exactly. Here's Aidan Dunn though. Nobody's topped this boulder yet. Let's see how he goes. Can he find a position? No. Choosing to go very, very high on that final cone, which is really not good. The knowledge we have from the setters is that you need to stand on a dual text with one foot and knee bar with the other, which is a very flared knee bar, so it's not something you can like hold the position very easily, and that's why we've potentially not seen a top on it just yet. But, Jen Wood had a slip on this on the last go. Just needs to keep it together, finish her tour off strong. She's topped, climbed already. Oh no, Jen, just slipping off. Here you go, Tara and Nathan, and Aidan Dunn on the far right hand corner. Got a really good sequence going through that section. Same with Tara and Nathan, they know what to do now. Hopefully they can just keep it together, make those micro adjustments. Come on, Tara.
She knows what she needs to do.
Yeah,
Oh,
come on, boost it. Stand strong.
Yes,
yeah,
Tara.
come on. There you go, Tara. Good work. Yeah, she's showing her experience, keeping it together to top it up. Disappointment of that flash go. Here goes Aidan. Yeah, he's found the position. Just needs to commit to it. Come on, mate. Get your squirm on.
Oh, come
He's
on.
going for it. Come on, buddy. Yeah, have a think about it. Everybody has struggled with this, and I mean, Will Bosey just was up there for probably a minute and a half, and then in the end just decided he'd had enough because the tour hadn't gone his way, I think, and hugely frustrated. Come on, Aidan, stick with it, buddy. Same with Jen Wood.
Come on, come on.
Yeah,
Yes,
much better from
nice
Jen.
from Jen.
absolutely crushed that fourth boulder in the end.
Aidan still just trying
Yeah.
every combination that he can think of, every
Alex
body
Waterhouse as
position
well.
that he can think of.
Really struggling on this third boulder, doing it in a very, very difficult way. Very impressive. Alex has got to get the zone really
Come on,
to
Alex.
stand a chance. Come on, Alex, smash this zone.
Oh,
It's
really
just
unlucky for
not gone
Alex there
his
with
way
the
this
right hand
round.
slip.
Oof, that was a good rotation. That was
That was
quite
exciting.
tense. Yeah, yeah. I think everybody's frustrated now on
Yeah.
this final boulder.
Awful
So-
for the athletes, but very entertaining for the spectators.
Exactly. So we're at the tail end of the competition for this semi-final now. We have nobody left on block one because the best finalists, best qualifiers, were Max Milne and Holly Tutil. So they're now on their second boulder, just observing and trying to figure out what to do. Max with the green groove of death, Holly with the tricky little shuffle across. And then further on in the tour, we've got Molly Thompson-Smith on women's 3, Kieran Forrest on men's 3, and Billy and Gwyneth finishing off their tour. Let's see how Max gets on with this. Yeah, just needs to get established. That's
Come on,
it.
Max.
Lovely, turning that left hand immediately. Great work from him. David's so good on his feet now, like
Yeah.
finding those positions, making those micro adjustments. So far so good for him. Just slipping off the feet.
Molly also cruising to the top of
Yeah, it's her jam,
women's
isn't it?
3, hopefully.
Really strong.
Lovely.
Molly's such a physical climber and so good at those kind of like powerful shouldery problems and just absolutely crushing that. And we've got Holly very high on her second boulder, grabbing the top. And Gwyneth and Billy was straight up on that boulder, trying to find the right position for the fourth climb. And Gwyneth near the top. So she finishes her tour off strong.
We've
And
seen
Billy.
the top from Billy Rydell on men's 4,
Yes.
which would be the first
A lot of happy route setters now, seeing a top on
collective
men's
sigh
4.
of relief.
Yeah, so it goes. So Billy, unfortunately though, it's going to be quite close for him because he topped the fourth and he topped the second, I believe, but really struggled on the other two. So it'd be interesting to see what the split is.
Yeah.
Obviously, I know there's a lot of people to keep track of. We will get some provisional results up when they're more relevant. The competition's still very much in its infancy with Max Milne here, only on his second boulder. So see how he gets on. He got established really quickly on this second one last time round, just slipping off the feet. So here he goes again, trying to adjust and find that position. That's it. Yeah.
Looking
Really
good
good
from
work
Max.
from Max. Taking his time. Such a pro. Knows he's got to drive the feet. Come on, Maxie. Finish it off. Yes. Super casual now. So that's a second top for Max Milne. Topping both of the first and second boulders, but with a slip on each, and that's why he doesn't look happy. Meanwhile, we've got Kieran Forrest is our only competitor left on the wall at the moment. That's the men's 3 boulder, number 72. So going to get the big screen for him. Good for you, buddy. Tricky start. Doing this a very difficult way. The techers from the route setters was to throw a toe hook in on the right hand black foothold right from the start, but he's so strong, just managing to come out without using that extra tension. Let's see if he adjusts. This black climb was set by Rob Napier, and yeah, as you'd expect from an AP problem, very, very complicated, intricate sequence, and competitors so far either doing it very, very quickly or not at all. Change the sequence there. That's a good work from him.
Yeah, I
Right.
feel like the amount of different combinations we've seen on this is really
Yeah.
testament to just how difficult it is
Yeah.
for the competitors to
Exactly.
understand out of the gate exactly what it is they need to do.
Kieran knows the time has run down, so he's just going to save some gas for the final boulder. So we're on our next rotation, and here's the here's the replay of Billy figuring out the finish position on
No
the fourth
hands.
climb. No hands. There it is.
Yeah.
Come on, yes. Good work, Billy. That was really strong, and just from the competition point of view, it's great to have all the boulders done.
Yeah.
No excuses. We know they all work. And replay there of Max, Captain Casual, finishing off his second boulder. So he's on a rest rotation now with Holly, and that'll be he'll be moving on to his third boulder, which is what you can see in front of you now with Tara Hayes and Nathan Phillips just viewing. These Tara with the pink Trango holds, Nathan with the black ones, and then just one rotation to the right, you see Emily Phillips and Alex Waterhouse on their final boulder. Emily absolutely smashing across these contact holds, super chill. Come on, Emily, that's it. Using the knee bar. Come on. Gonna match that handhold, or is she gonna bypass it? Fair play. Super confident climbing from her.
Really good.
Going to the zone late. She's obviously feeling strong. Eyeing up that last hold. We know left hand again is not the knowledge. It's a rollover with the right hand, and you can see the frustration there. She smashes the mat.
Alex making it to
Come on, Alex.
close to the top on men's
Yeah.
four. Let's see if he can find that double knee bar.
Single knee, yeah, it's like a reverse knee bar, so
Okay.
that's it. Come on, Alex. Billy just really pushed hard with both legs, and then went for the top hold.
Come on, Alex.
There you go. You've got the position, just got to trust it. Tara on the left hand side, she's on female 3. Just slipping out, not quite finding the right sequence. What seems to be the method for that on the women's problem is to, instead of having it with 2 undercuts front on, is to be more sideways on with the right hand, sort of backhand undercut. Seems to be the method. That way you can keep more weight going through the poor slopey black volume. There's Nathan pulling on to the block.
Alex Waterhouse
Yeah,
making it at the
good
second
work,
top
Alex.
of men's four.
Awesome top from Alex there. That is only the second top we've seen on that climb, but he's not a happy chappy.
No.
He's not had a good tour
Looks
up
a
to
little
that point.
deflated.
But at least he's finishing strong. That's the most important thing. Emily Phillips back on. She absolutely cruised through this boulder to the last move last time. But yeah, just getting a bit flustered on that. Tara Hayes, Nathan Phillips also still climbing. See if Tara, yeah, there's the backhand shoulder that allows you to keep a bit more tension. Just keep it like that. No. Oh no, Tara, keep that shoulder. Never mind. She climbed so well on the first 2 boulders, 1 and 2, so hopefully she's still in with a chance, but I think you are going to need to do at least 3, possibly 4 on the female tour to qualify for tonight's final. Remember, only 6 from each category go through, and in this round at the moment there are 20 competitors, so it's quite a big cut. Nathan, yeah, he's found the right sequence now. This is much better from him. Pressing out. Oh, just moving a bit too quickly through that. Emily Phillips again, just crushing these little crimpers and finding the right position. Here goes Emily. Oh, she's getting absolutely frustrated with this final boulder, having messed up the last move on her first attempt and now struggling to get back up there. And the same with Tara. I think she knows she's missing something on the sequence, so getting very frustrated and pumped in equal measure. Nathan Phillips really struggling to find the right position. You know, previous double champion, that tells you how difficult this boulder is, right? When the double champ is struggling with it. Emily back on, shuffling across these volumes. Come on. Yeah, much better. She's gone up to the zone first, which allows her to get more weight through the feet. She's got to be quick now.
Come on. You're left again.
So unlucky from Emily. She will be fuming. I think she knows that's a big opportunity. Having got there on their first go, super frustrating. There's Alex
getting his
face
nose
on.
involved. Nose in a bolt hole.
No, face on dual text. Yeah, this is the move that she just fell on. The knowledge on that final move for female 4 is to roll over with the right hand, not go up with the left, and that was her first attempt, which shows you her frustration. So we are at the very end of this semi-final round. We've got Max Milne on his third boulder, Holly Tootill on her third boulder. Max straight in, reading that sequence perfectly, but slipping off. And then we've got Molly Thompson-Smith and Kieran Forrest on their final boulders, climbing very well. Molly cruising through this section, you know, she's just so physical. She looks so steady in every position. Really good to watch. And Kieran getting across the groove of doom. Stepping out. Here goes Molly. Let's see, rolling over to finish. Come on, Molly.
Come on.
Let's see the finish strong. Yes!
Yes.
There it is.
Casual.
Absolutely casual from her. Quick tap to the crowd.
Molly?
Flash from Molly, yeah.
Perfect.
So that's a really strong tour from her. I want to say 4 flashes as well, but
yeah.
Yeah. We'll find out some results for everybody soon. In fact, we'll put in a request to the judge, see if we can get some provisionals up, because now we're in the tail end. It is going to be worthwhile. Bear with us while we do that. Meanwhile, here goes Max on his third boulder, second attempt. He's in a good stable position, but needs to sort of explode out of it into a very poor side pull, so choosing to just readjust low. And yeah, that left hand undercut he's on there is just a nothing hold. It's a very, very small sort of pebble kind of hold that you can't really get any kind of in-cut in. It's just sort of a catch more than anything. But here goes Holly on the third boulder, looking super strong. She's just got to float out on the shoulder, stay tight on the shoulders. Yeah, well done. Making short work of this. Now, as we know, Hannah, better on the low section. There it is.
For a nice
awesome
middle.
I gotta
middle
say,
ground.
so far on this, she's looked really, really good this weekend, I think.
Yeah, very consistent.
Yeah, you're right, that's a great word. Yeah, consistent and relaxed and calm compared to some of other competitors. At the moment, I feel like it's Holly, Michaela and Molly who are all looking really, really strong this weekend, and definitely topped all the boulders to date. Yeah, Max
Come on, Max.
figured out that starting sequence now, and just needs to keep it together to get to zone.
Nice.
There we go. Super casual from him. Come on, find that position.
Negotiate some quite
He
spicy
needs to get
block
the toe hook in
holds.
if he can, or heel. That's it.
Yeah.
Well done. It's great to see Max being challenged, because last season, last BBCs, he absolutely crushed through all of the rounds, and
Come on, Max.
oh no,
Ooh.
just misread it.
Big flying dismount.
Too dynamic on that this time. I mean, we all know Max is great at these dynamic climbs, but actually on this particular one, you need to move quite slowly through that final section. The left-hand flip that he did to try and finish and hold the swing, that flip hold is really, really poor, so it's not like something you can just grab too easily.
No, going with that last hold with momentum doesn't seem to be the best way for Max.
But yeah, Max, I think he's on his 4th attempt now. Yeah, he's just walking away.
from that.
Yeah, not happy on that one, but you know, good strategy from him. He knows potentially walking away, saving some gas for the last one is probably worthwhile. That's quite a slow, powerful boulder. So he's got a smile on his face already now. So just reprogramming, but he will be raging inside. Very, very close to the end now. We've just got Nathan Phillips and Tara Hayes on their final boulder, with Max and Holly waiting on their rest rotation. So if you're sticking with us, probably only about 10 more minutes of climbing, give or take, to go, but still all to play for. These guys need to get tops to qualify for tonight's final. Tara in particular has struggled on her 3rd climb, so she can get a quick top here. She put herself in with a good shot, and also the same with Nathan. He so far has struggled on these boulders this afternoon. Tara, yeah, climbing really well. Super steady through this, suiting her style quite well, I think. More controlled, steady, confident positions. She needs to float out to this zone hold now. There it is, turn the hand. Yeah, reading it perfectly. Nice and slow now. Question is, will she read the rollover? Hopefully she does. Get that heel in. That's it. Come on.
Yeah, steady.
Absolutely perfect. Really steady and strong. Coming back to comps after a bit of a hiatus climbing in Rocklands with Nathan and a few other guys. So that time on rock paying dividends by the looks of it.
Yeah, must be an interesting transition, huh? To spend so much time on real rock and then come back into that kind of comp style. They are quite different.
Absolutely. I think probably a hard couple of weeks trying to get some coordination strength back. Nathan, wow, giving it the turn out to the crowd and pushing reverse very, very quickly.
Backed out of that one.
Not the way. But we'll keep you posted on some results.
Nice.
Here goes Nathan, travelling across on this groove.
He's looking really good on this.
Yeah, he's so good at on his feet, Nathan, and very, very strong fingers. So if he finds a hold, normally he can keep the position. Let's see how he gets on the top. We've had only two tops out of the athletes so far on this men's 4, and it's this final position here where he has to stand on this little rail with a knee scum and just push on both feet in a really, really average knee bar. Come on, Nathan.
Come on.
Here we go. There it is, there it is, there it is. Yeah, awesome effort.
Really nice.
That is very, very good finish for Nathan. It's a quick top on the 4th one, so
puts him in really good stead.
Yeah, he might just squeeze in with that, you know. We shall see. Interesting how just watching that replay there, both Alex and Nathan like face planting the final volume on the no text part. It's
potential to lose your nose.
Yeah, exactly. And just shows you how hard they're like having to push with their legs and core. Like they're getting in a ball just with all of their core energy just to try and like get whatever tension they can out of the position. So fair play to them. Here's some provisional results for you. Obviously we've still got a bunch of results still to fill in the gaps there. You know, we've got Max Milne still to come out on his last boulder. But it's looking like for the men, you need at least 2 boulders very, very quickly to get through. Nathan Phillips, obviously topping that last one, doesn't appear on that list there. But it's gone quite quickly. Always seems to. We have this manic start, and then it's over. But here's some more complete female results. So as you can see, you almost certainly need to do 4 boulders to progress through in tonight's final, because it's just the top 6 men and women.
And Holly will likely know that going into her last boulder.
I don't want to curse her, but I would put money, if I could
If
bet
you were
on
a
it,
betting man.
I would put money on her absolutely destroying this last boulder.
Okay.
It's quite, positions where you can get quite a bit of control, not very dynamic, so you would imagine she'll teeter her way through it. Question is, will Max find the right position? This has certainly been the problem that's been topped the least in the men's comp. Lots of people getting close to it but not managing to finish it. So this is it. Last climbers of our semi-final round. Final 4 minutes. Let's see what they got. Max will know he definitely really needs to top this to stand a chance of qualifying up towards the top of the field. He might squeak through with 2, but it's too close to know with just the provisionals. Yeah, good techers from these two, brushing all the holds, take the time, look for the clues. They know a lot, they're not watching the competitors that go before, but they can hear what's going on. So they both know, I need to do this boulder because other people have done it. And that also fills them with confidence because they know
But it can be done.
it can be done, yeah. But also pressure, because it can be done, right?
They need to do it.
Maxi straight in, giving it the old lean across. That's it. Those micro adjustments, bumping the foot, take a bit of the weight out of the fall, lean.
Nice from
Nicely
Max.
done. Get onto that crimp rail as quickly as you can, that's it.
Holly looking strong as well.
Just absolutely chilling, knee bar. Here we go for Max. Come on.
Come on, Max.
Same with Holly. See both.
Come on, Max.
You've got to get the right position here, Max. Come on.
Oh, gone.
Yeah.
Thought about trying to stick a heel in, but
Here goes Holly. Giving it the rollover.
Nice.
Yeah, good work.
top for
Holly
Holly.
Tootle. Wicked.
Max
Well.
going for the inside flag knee bar. The
That
Leicester
is-
scene, inside flag knee bar.
Inside flag double knee bar. Yeah, that is next level techers, but not quite generating enough friction. He needs to, stay a
Come
bit
on,
more
Max.
front on if you can.
Come on.
Yeah, play Max. It's the same as Will Bosey, like cruising up to this final position and struggling to find the
Come on,
finishing
Max. Come on.
combination. There's not too much trick to it. It is just literally squeezing that volume with
Come
your
on,
knee.
Max.
Taking his time.
Come on.
So frustrating as a competitor to get up to this kind of position and not be able to find it easily.
Come
Here
on,
we go,
Max.
Max. That is
Come on, Max. Come on. That would be incredible.
just going to
Good
take a break.
confidence.
I think Max, good decision. That's a lot of energy used. Going for a bit of a pit stop, change the old shoes over, presumably looking for maybe something stiffer. He's got
What's
the
in the
Dragos
bag?
on there, I think. So I reckon he's probably going to go for something stiffer, maybe, just to see if he can create a bit more tension on that knee bar. When you've got soft shoes, obviously you sink into the feet a little bit more, which on some of these problems can be really useful, standing on volumes or small pebbles and things. But when you need to get height, maybe he's, you can see there, he's putting on a much stiffer shoe. Let's see if that helps. But he's certainly been challenged this round, which is a good thing. Got 116. He took a lot of time on that first attempt. A good sort of 30, he was on quickly. It took him about 30 seconds to get to the last move, and then probably spent over a minute on that top section. So it's now or never for him. Of course, he doesn't really know what the scores are doing. He's got an idea, but with only 2 tops, he will feel a little bit twitchy. He'll want to get this done. Here we go. Moving quickly through this initial transition. Getting across the lean. Clock's running down now. Come on, Max. Now or never, buddy.
Come on, Max.
30 seconds. Has to move quickly, no mistakes, and he's across on the rail.
Nice, Max. Come on.
Clock's running down. Come on, buddy. Get up tall, stand tall. Come on. Feet, and just give it everything. Get that left foot back down on the pebble.
Come on, Max. Come on.
Good, that's it. That's the one. That's the one. Find that position.
Come on.
He's going to be timed out.
Oh.
Just
Come on, Max.
good stuff. Wow.
Oh.
Interesting results then. So, you know, those climbers who were sweeping through the round earlier on and got some early tops, you know, could be in with a really good shot. We're going to get the old supercomputer going to get the final results to you, but we could be in with some shocks on this comp. You know, in the female round, you're definitely going to need 4 tops to qualify. Maybe squeeze in the 3 quickly is my prediction. In the men's field, you're going to need 2 very, very quickly. Potentially, did somebody get 3? I'm not sure. But anyway, hope you've enjoyed watching that. I know it's a chaotic round. A lot of people on screen. 4 split screens, you know, 8 climbers at once. It's a lot to keep track of, so apologies if you all feel a bit confused. I do too. It's been difficult to keep you up to date, but as soon as we get some results, we will let you know.
There's still a few phones left on the climbers who haven't been in isolation, so if you don't have your phone, don't get it before it gets sold on eBay. We need to fund next to this competition somehow. For those that make the final, isolation will close.
So if you're still with us, in a second, I've just been told we are definitely going to get some provisional results up on the screen for you. We're also going to give you a bit of a schedule as to what's going to happen. Obviously, we're finishing this semi-final now, which means there'll be a mandatory break period before the final starts later on this afternoon / evening. But we'll get those timings for you very shortly on the screen and some results. But here we go. I think we're going to have some men's provisional results, subject to any appeals. But yeah, you can see there, Billy Rydell had a bit of difficulty on some of the problems, but the 2 that he did do, he flashed. So, you know, that just shows you've really got to stick with it all the way to the end. So 2 tops gets you in, definitely. Billy Rydell, Jim Pope, Max Milne, and then Nathan Whaley, and also sneaking in the end there. I'm so happy for Alex Waterhouse, subject to any appeals. It's so good to see Alex in the final. He works so hard all the time, and just on the last boulder he had an absolute shocker of a round, but kept it together to that 4th boulder and flashed it, which statistically was the hardest one as well.
Such
so
a real divider as well. Like if you got that boulder, I think that really, really helped you out. So
awesome effort.
Yeah, very happy for Alex.
Same with Nathan as well when we look at that. Fair play to him, keeping it together all the way to the end. That's why he's the double champ. Here's some provisional female results for you. So Zoe Peterman's absolutely smashing it. 4 in 7. Michaela Tracy 4 in 11. Jen Wood 4 in 12. So those are the guys out in front. And then Eugenie Robson Lee keeping it together. That was really good effort from her with 3. Emily Phillips, the current champion, in with 3, and Holly Tootill just squeezing in with 2 flashes. And unfortunately Tara Hayes, Molly Thompson-Smith. I'm not sure if these results are correct actually for the female category. Yeah, I think we're missing some score sheets still to be added into the final results, because Molly Thompson-Smith is definitely in with 4 as well. So yeah, appreciate the confusion still coming through. It is what it is. It's very difficult until the official results have gone in to my right hand side here, when Mark finishes getting all of the approved score sheets and obviously the appeals process, etc. But check the website out, we will put the results up there in a bit. But just to sign off, these are the schedule for the rest of the day. So 5:20, a bit later on today, we will present you with the finalists once they are confirmed, and we'll do some observation. We'll talk you through all of that. 5:30 we'll get our final underway. Obviously it's 4 blocks, 4 minutes per climber. it's going to take us about 2 hours probably to get through the competition, depending on how they get on. If they flush them all, might be a bit quicker than 7:30, but will be some quick tallying up of results again. In the finals it'd be much quicker because only 2 climbers climb at once, and then we'll do some prize giving. So Hannah, what was your take on the semi-finals? Who did you like the look of?
Yeah, I thought Molly was looking very, very strong. I'm very excited to see her climb in finals.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I'm just really excited to see Alex in finals.
Alex, me
I think
too.
that
Yeah.
him making finals will just be really nice. He'll be so stoked to be there.
Totally.
So that will be.
And I think it's just worth
great.
saying, like, huge props to all of the competitors today, because they've had a huge qualification round yesterday, a lot of effort, huge stress, isolation multiple times, and they work so hard during the season, like hours and hours and days. I mean, if you totaled up the hours that they did, it's probably weeks, months of training, and this is their one opportunity to get to lay it down. So to make it to finals,
yes, very, very impressive.
awesome effort.
Very excited to watch.
Yeah, so as I say, check the website out for some final results. We'll get that obviously on the Instagram, Twitter, or whatever the kids are looking at these days a bit later. But join us again at 5:20, probably a bit earlier for us, about 5:15. We'll start chatting to you for the finals and giving you a check down. Join us then. Cheers for now.